Hello traders, good morning. This is Jetly Joseph with you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we start up with the weekly analysis, feel free to follow me on my TradingView account. It's Jetly232. I usually post a lot of trading ideas before they usually play out, and what am I basically looking for, what sort of patterns that I mainly look for before I place an entry into the trade. Yeah, so without further say, let's start with our this week's analysis, which would be from 31st of August 2020 to the 4th of September 2020. Before we start, I just thought it would be nice to share with you. There's one trade which I had left over the weekend. This one I had called it on the 27th of August in my Telegram channel plus my private WhatsApp group. Regarding this trade, it formed a bear flag and I told them to enter in, and it did really commit to itself, even though it was on the Thursday and then 28th was a Friday. It did really have a good impulsive move down. We bagged almost 3%. We locked our profits to 3% of our entry, which was 111 pips, and I'm still looking if it's going to continue a lot more further down. There are two things which I'm looking for over here. One would be, if it is going to form a reversal pattern like this, I would look to trail my stop. I'll be a little more aggressive with trailing my stops like this so that I don't give much back to the market. But instead, if it forms let's say it forms a different pattern, it forms something like this, like a bear flag or a flat flag, I will look to scale and I'll add in one more position and probably get in one more trade. So I'll possibly have two trades running for EURAUD, but that doesn't really look like it's going to happen, but you never know. We are not market makers, so we'll see what we'll take message from the market on what it is likely to show, and we'll take it from there. If it's a reversal, it's plain and simple. We trade our stops, make it tight, and you exit the trade by getting tagged out, right? But if it forms a corrective, like a continuation flag, then I would look to scale it. That's why I'm leaving a little bit of room for it to breathe, and we'll take the message from the market depending on what. As long as we have a plan ready, I'm not really worried about what the market is going to do. You see, we have no control over the market, right? So what I would do is, if it's a reversal, exit the trade. If it's a continuation, add in one more position. Yeah, fine. So let's start with this week's analysis. The first pair will be CADJPY. If you can see the overall picture, it's formed a rising wedge pattern. A rising wedge pattern with a 3-touch confirmation, where it suggested that the price is going to drop. And whoever was able to enter on this heavy momentum the last week should be in the trade still, and looking for scaling and opportunities. Yeah, and there are two scenarios that can possibly happen. One would be, it is what it's exactly forming right now, like a bear flag and all the way down. So even if you miss one trade, it's fine. There are so many other multiple opportunities for you to capitalize, to enter the trade in, right? And this is one possible scenario. The second possible scenario is, it could potentially go one more time all the way higher up, form the 4th touch, and then drop, forming a continuation flag and drop all the way down. These are the two possible scenarios that I could look for. Either way, my bias would be to enter short for now, unless if there is a change in the market structure and it gives me a different picture altogether, then I would change. Otherwise, as of now, it is going to be continuing short. People who would want to take a reduced risk entry, what they could do is they could possibly have their entry at the bottom so that it confirms that our prediction was correct, our forecasting was correct, and we could take it all the way down, giving us a 3.7% for the initial one trade. There will be multiple other trade scenarios or trade entries where we can add up more into this one particular setup. The next trade which I'm looking at is AUDCAD. Like how I have sketched on this, I'm expecting it to form a bull flag. It's not yet developed yet, still a few more hours, maybe before the London session opens, it could be ready. Since it's a Monday, so there will be a little bit of delay, but it doesn't matter for us. Be it a Monday or Friday, it's still the same. As long as the patterns are confirmed, the movement is almost 95% sure it will move as per what the pattern says. Yeah. So as of now, it's still forming. It's not yet completely developed. Waiting for it to form minimum of 2 bottoms and 2 tops for it to complete a bull flag pattern, and then I'll look to enter it long. This is for AUDCAD. Next is GBPNZD. If you look, what is the overall picture showing? It's forming an ascending channel. So the price broke from ascending channel, and now all we look for is to scale in. So we ideally I would wait, but since this is already it has already gone much into the move, like it's already down, but it's fine there. Unless and until you, if you are like if you don't mind taking a small risk, this is probably worth it, but the risk to reward wouldn't be that much. Since we have little more move to the downside, if you want, I wouldn't really recommend, but if you want, you can just possibly put an entry order here and a stop loss above the previous high, that will be about 66 pips with your risk to reward close to 2%. Yeah, it's already forming a bear flag, which is a continuation pattern to go to the downside, and all we're looking for is just wait for the price to break and we enter the trade. Just forms this bear flag and down. The next pair would be NZDCAD. As it's very clear. It's clear as daylight. What are we seeing here? An impulsive move and first correction. And what correction is it forming? It's forming a continuation, which is a bull flag. And all I'm looking for is just to enter it once it develops a little more. All these are I'm recording this video on a Monday, which is the 31st of August 2020 in the morning, 10 a.m. Indian time. So I would ideally wait for the price to develop a little more, maybe before the London session opens. It should be ready, and that would be another 2 hours time, and then I would look to place entry orders into this. But this is a clear entry where you have an impulse, the first correction, and it's not the first correction, but impulse, correction, and goes on the way up. This is a bull flag pattern. That's all. Another pair would be USDJPY. Well, I was in this trade last week, but I got tagged out. I got pinned out for, I think, one of these wicks. But I was able to capitalize on this. And people who were in my group, WhatsApp group, they were able to capitalize on this as well. And since I got tagged out, if not, I would have been in that trade, locked in profit and wait, and maybe scale into the next one. Now, the next entry that I'm anticipating is I would wait for the price to correctively reach the top of the structure, which gives me an overall a bear flag, and I would look to enter in short. So, as of now, wait for it to form a bear flag and then take it short. I would be because I am almost, well, see, I'm not 100% sure, but as per the pattern, it is more likely the price for it to continue to go lower. So that is why I'm looking for a risk entry over here on the top of the structure, so that I don't have to risk many pep, but my risk to reward will be really good, which is about 3% risk to reward ratio. Next one is NZDCHF. It's forming it has come from an impulsive move, formed the correction, and now it's expected to be going up. So this is the entry that I'm looking for to go long for NZDCHF, and it's already forming it's already forming a bull flag. It's more or less like a flat flag pattern. So I will wait for it to come down one more time for going long. So at least I'll have a better risk to reward of at least 1:3%. The next pair is AUDCHF. If you see, it's formed a bull flag, but the way how it is formed is like slightly steeper. So there is a chance for it to drop all the way down. That's a possible scenario, and the probable scenario is it will continue going higher. We'll wait for one more touch over here to form a double or a triple bottom, whatever you want to say it, and look to enter it long with a possible risk to reward of 1:3%. So my bias for this would still be bullish unless if there is a change in pattern, like a market gives me a different type of pattern. This one develops more and forms like an ascending channel or rising wedge pattern, then I will change my decision. That we have to wait and see for what message the market is going to give us. The next pair is GBPCHF. Now what do we see here again? It's a bull flag that's forming. I will look to enter at the break of the structure or on top or maybe at the bottom, it depends. But since it's morning, they will have the spread is going to be huge, so you cannot put limit orders. So the best bet would be put it on top and enter the trade once there is an impulsive move to the upside. And this one's risk reward is about 2%, close to 3%, 2.85. Anyway, let's keep it as 2%. Which is quite promising. So GBPCHF would be long for me. EURNZD was a beautiful trade actually last week. I think I missed the entry over here, even though it formed a bear flag. I missed the entry, and I entered over here somewhere. It did go really well, and then for whatever reason I just had to manually close the trade on Friday evening because I don't remember what was the reason why I took it off. Maybe because the value was quite good. Yeah, somewhere around 100 pips. So I was not really willing to give back what I made. Sometimes you have to take what the market gives you and not really risk much. So I thought it would be wise for me to take it off because I was expecting a reversal to happen. But what happened is it's still continuing. It's forming a continuation flag pattern, which suggested of it's going to continue, not short. So my bias still remains the same for this pair as well. I'll be looking to enter short for this pair, EURNZD. Next is a GBPCAD. It's a classic textbook example. GBPCAD, you can see it's come from an impulsive move. It formed the first correction, which is a bull flag, and I'm looking to enter it long. So it's just quite simple. It's a no-brainer. I mean, there is a chance where it can tag you in and then go all the way down. That's a different scenario. We are mainly trading based on probabilities. So the possible it can go all the way down. The probable is it's going to continue, go higher. Okay, so this is GBPAUD. I had two possible scenarios that could possibly play out. In this, if you see, what is a pattern? So first one thing is a pattern. Pattern is a descending channel, which is suggestive of a reversal in trend. So there is a chance for the price to form a double bottom and then go a lot more higher, go long, or it could go all the way down, form a 1, 2, 3 touch confirmation pattern before continuing to go long. So I have anyway placed an entry on this almost like a reverse pin bar. It's not really a pin bar, but I felt there is a chance for it to continue go higher from here. But either way, if at all it comes down from a double bottom, I'll still be in the trade. But in case if it happens to go a lot lower and form a third touch, I'm more than happy to be out of the trade by risking small, and then I'll look to enter over here with a stop loss below the pattern and take profit target will be above. See, the main idea is you need to keep your losses short. So it doesn't matter even if, see, I know there are two scenarios that could happen, either over here or here. I could easily pull this down and still remain in the trade, but that's not giving me the risk to reward ratio which I'm looking for, which is the minimum of 1:3. Yeah, and plus if you see that's about 120 pip. I'm not really happy with risking that much, so might as well I'll take a loss on this. If at all it decides to come down, I'll take a loss on this, take another entry over here, and then if once the what do you say, the trade plays out in my direction, this loss which I incurred would be covered really quick. So that's the idea. So the main idea of a real trader is to stay longer in the game. It's not a get rich quick scheme like how I keep telling you in every video. You need to stay longer in this game. So it's fine to take a little bit of losses here and there as long as your risk to reward is up to the dot. Yeah. This is another beautiful setup that's happening. If you see, it's forming a bull flag, and I had already placed a risk entry over here with about 40 pip. 40 pip is not really required, but anyway, I just kept it 40 pip. So all I'm expecting it to happen is just do this, form a bull flag, and then shoot all the way up. So this is all that I'm looking for. Next is EURGBP. Again, it's a clear bear flag it's forming. So place a limit order here. I'm hoping it would come and tag me in. This is not my usual entry. My usual entries are sell stops, but I just wanted to give it a shot because my risk to reward, if I use a sell stop, my risk to reward would be less than 3%. So I was a bit adamant about getting a minimum of 3%. So if I get tagged in, well and good. If not, it's fine. It is what it is. The last pair that I would want to discuss is AUDNZD. You can see it has already formed it's formed a bull flag, like a bigger bull flag. So I already placed my entry over here for a double bottom. If not, there's a possibility for it to come a little more lower and then reverse and go long. Either way, my bias is long. I've placed it, so for the sake of it, if it is a double bottom, good. If not, if it wants to come a little more lower, I'm still in the trade because my stop loss is just below the pattern. Either way, I'm looking to enter long for this pair for now, unless there's a change in pattern or structure, depending on what the market really shows me. So that's pretty much it for this week. I do have a few more trades which are developing, which I won't be discussing it now because I'm waiting for them to develop a lot more, especially NZDUSD. Really beautiful trades going to happen for this week. Just waiting for them to develop. Let's see, NZDUSD. Just waiting for it to develop a little bit and probably reach this section here. What I'm looking for is something like this, reach correctively. preemptively here and drop. First back line, drop, and drop. So this similar setups are really developing soon on these potential pairs. Once they develop, I'll be calling them in my WhatsApp group or my paid WhatsApp group, or I do have a free Telegram channel. Feel free to join my Telegram channel as well. The link would be in the description box below. And let's see how this week, how much we're able to bag this week. But definitely looks a lot more promising. There's so many potential trades which are getting ready, and we're waiting for all those impulsive moves for us to capitalize on. So until next week, this is your boy Jet Li.